From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Why are you a conspiracy theorist? And I said, why isn't everybody a goddamn conspiracy theorist?
This is the real research. Literally have an alien base, and they are literally communicating.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
Have you personally had any experience with interdimensional beings?
What we're thinking of as aliens, they have infiltrated a lot of aspects of military intelligence. And they are not what they claimed to be.
We leave you much that is undone.
That's one small step for man.
There are great ideas undiscovered.
Visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars.
Remove one of truth's protective layers.
There's a monolith.
They want those major population centers wiped out.
Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
One giant leap for mankind.
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Those challenges are yours.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
There are places to go beyond belief. Beyond belief.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Conspiracy Podcast. We don't take days off because reptilians don't take days off. I hope everybody is over the shock of our new intro being a thing now. Everybody seemed to take it well in the comments. People, change is scary for people. Change is scary for people, but I thought it sounded fucking cool.
It's an absolute banger. Speaking of change,
you changed your mind about putting your fucking lights on before we start recording the podcast. We can barely see you, Ollie.
It's Mrs. Tom's fault.
We call him,
yeah, my mum's cat.
Yeah, Ollie's got a cat in his hands.
Yeah.
Just imagine how many times
I'm looking
looking
after my mum's pussy. It's like
fondled.
Yes, if you do hear like a slow vibration sound, it's not me pleasuring myself, it's me pleasuring the cat.
Oh right, we're not starting this podcast with more bestiality. I won't fucking allow it, Ollie. It's 9 minutes of bestiality stories yesterday. I listened to it as well.
9 minutes.
9 minutes. 9 minutes.
I'm proud of myself. Fucking hell,
9 minutes of you trying to justify allowing a dog to abuse you.
I saw one of the Spotify comments today, and somebody agreed me with.
Yes, somebody did, but no, you know what? The other thing that was nobody else did.
Well,
no one
on
X
have a lot in common.
Yeah, no one on X, no one on Spotify, undoubtedly no one on YouTube. When we get a couple of comments on that,
well, everybody has a past, and it's just like, it's one of those things. I had to live with it. I've still got the scars.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly.
It's fine. But I tell you what is fucked up, Lee.
What's fucked up, Ollie?
Well, I'll get it straight in, because we're going to keep this nice and sweet and short, because Lee's going to Antarctica tomorrow, I think. Is that?
I am going to Antarctica. I'm going to go check out this fake sun that Dave Weiss told us about yesterday. You will hear about that on Monday.
See, I love Dave, but I don't understand why he invited you and not me.
I do.
Weird. Anyway.
No, sensible.
Here we go.
For Utah,
well, let me turn that up, because this woman's speaking extremely quiet. Oh no, that's as loud as it is. Can you hear that, Lee?
No, that's gonna be next to useless for our podcast.
Do you know what? It's okay. It's okay. I've got another one. She can fuck right off.
Get her fucked, Ollie. Get her fucked.
Actually, you know what? I weren't a married man. But yeah, so the Utah doctor, Dr. Kirk Moore, is currently facing a lawsuit for COVID-19 vaccinations. Sorry, the card thingamajigs, giving people fake ones. So here we
Right.
go.
Yeah.
I've got it lined up for you. This guy's a fucking hero, in my opinion. Here we go.
Salt Lake City now, supporters are rallying behind a plastic surgeon facing 35 years in prison, accused of giving people fake COVID-19 vaccine cards during the pandemic. Dr. Kirk Moore is charged with fraud, counterfeiting, and destruction of government property. Documents show Moore sold more than $100,000 worth of fake vaccine cards to almost 1,000 patients. A lot of Moore supporters showed up outside the Salt Lake federal courthouse today. They all say Moore was just doing his job.
How can we, in good conscience, condemn a doctor whose only crime was defending others from a government policy that has since been proven harmful?
It is important to note here the CDC, major healthcare groups, and studies all around the world have found COVID-19 vaccines to be safe and effective. But Dr. Moore has found support among prominent conservatives here in Utah and across the nation. Utah House Speaker Mike Schultz and former gubernatorial candidate and state representative Phil Lyman attended that rally today. And Health Secretary RFK Jr. has also expressed his support for Dr. Moore, saying he deserves a Medal of Courage for his commitment to healing.
Wow. Right. So before we go further, what a fucking strange period of time to be in when you've got like prominent politicians, the likes of RFK Jr., like publicly backing somebody that wasn't given like vaccinations to people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have. But what a strange thing. Gonna have to go turn your lights on, Ollie. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'll wait, Mrs. Tom. Okay, you keep speaking.
Right. Yeah. It just seems really bizarre to me. I'd be interested to know. I don't know whether you'll be able to tell me when you come back and sit down in your chair. I don't know whether Ollie knows or not whether this plastic surgeon was like a beautician plastic surgeon type person, or I'd like to. Well, I'm trying to think of like a vanity sort of thing, because that could be quite interesting. Because if it's like if that plastic surgeon, that doctor spends his time doing boob jobs and lip fillers and facelifts, I think it's also disingenuous to go, this doctor's out there, he wants to save lives. It's his Hippocratic oath. Do you know what I mean? Because
I reckon he saved some marriages.
No, but I've got a really dim view on plastic surgery. Like, I genuinely, I think it's profit. Not just the fact I find it repulsive. I think it's profiting off other people's like insecurities and misery. And so that's why I'm. If he was a lip filler guy, and don't get me wrong, if I'd have had the money to do it, and I ended up having to do it, would definitely the avenue I would have gone down. And there was even a point where I thought if I need a vaccine to like do stuff, if I took like 500 quid to the vaccine center one day, and just before I got vaccinated, turned around and said, I will give you this if you squirt that over there where the needle goes. And then if they refused to do it, I'd have just got up and left. I wouldn't have had it. I did. Like, genuinely, that crossed my mind to do that.
I know somebody. I'm not going to say exactly what they, but put it this way: it's very close to the home of the vaccine that had a fake vaccine passport.
Right. Okay. It doesn't surprise me. I'm sure there was loads of it. I'm sure there was
loads of people
fucking
going on it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all. Like, because regardless of whether I agree or disagree with what he was doing, I've also got to try and work out how it's being framed and if it's being framed honestly as well. And again, if he's a surgeon that's just in the surgery business for money, I'm going to guess that he was probably in the not giving COVID vaccines for money. And let's face it as well, if he decided, I'd have to find out what. So if you're a private practitioner, which I suppose, so yeah, and so he must have applied to do COVID vaccines.
Yeah.
Which you feel must have been a profit-driven endeavor.
I don't know if they apply for it or if they're approached. I think a lot of businesses were approached. I know he got rid of, I think they said $28,000 of vials.
Yes, yeah. Now, and obviously we're talking America, pharmaceutical industry prices as well here. So that was probably 3 vaccines. I don't know. I found it weird because I couldn't quite work out what they were talking about, whether he was, and I'm sure this must be murky for the court case, whether he was given saline solution to people and they thought they were getting a vaccine, or whether he'd arranged it and he was giving them saline solution instead of a vaccine. I mean, he's not the first one. There was a guy in Germany, wasn't there?
Yeah, but see, I've listened to a few podcasts
a few people
with this guy on, and he's not he's very hazy about what he's done and not done.
Yeah,
obviously because it's going to go into the courts.
He doesn't want to go to prison for 35 years. See,
but I think the closer this gets to it, the further this goes on, I think the case is in November.
Yeah,
the further it goes on, the more clout he's got.
Oh yeah. I mean, you say that, but I mean, just now today, hopefully I've still got this here. Miranda gets full US approval for COVID shot in at-risk children 6 months and older. June the 10th, from Reuters, the US Food and Drug Administration has granted full approval for Miranda mRNA.O COVID vaccines for COVID vaccine Spikevax in children 6 months through to 11 years old who are in increased risk of getting the disease. The company said on Thursday the shot was previously available for pandemic populations under the emergency use authorization. Miranda expects to make an updated vaccine available for eligible children in the US population for the 2025-26 respiratory virus season. So,
fucking hell.
You say
still fucking at it.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. You say the longer this goes on is thing, because this is what gets me, right? And I'm so confused by this. Like, it feels like a choose your own adventure game in the world now. Like
one of those books you read as a kid.
Yeah.
If you want to do this, go to page.
Yeah, Lee gets to a corridor. One corridor means he believes in the COVID vaccine. One corridor means he doesn't believe in the COVID vaccine. Which path do you take? And depending on which path you want to take, you can find, I think I said this on the podcast the other day, didn't I? You can find cast iron evidence to back up pretty much whatever you want to think.
Yes, I think you're right there. I think what I said this. I said this like I think a year and a bit ago, maybe 2 years ago. I said I think we're going to start seeing a lot of the left coming up with their own conspiracy theories. Like we've naturally seen the center right to right doing a lot of the conspiracy stuff. I'd probably consider myself more center to maybe leaning into the right. the left, I always thought were the ones that made the fun out of us. You know?
No, I mean,
No, but back in
like,
the day, it was completely different. I think the left
I
was
feel,
more
yeah.
conspiracy.
Well, it was an anti-government thing. That's where things have shifted around for me, where I get confused with it now, because for me, growing up, the left was always anti-government. I think in the UK, at least, it's probably, I mean, in the US, it's definitely anti-government now, but I think even saying anti-government doesn't make a lot of sense. I would say it was more anti-mainstream opinion. That's maybe where I thought the left used to be when I was younger.
Yep.
That it was the left wing but even that, I don't understand. It's all so fucking muddy now. It's all so muddy and weird that it's just, what are you anti-authoritarian or are you authoritarian? I think that's pretty much what it comes down to as far as the political aisle goes. And increasingly, I think the left want the handheld more, and it's not a case of their idea of being anti-government isn't that we don't want you to interfere with us. We don't want you to control us. I almost feel that it's no, you're not governing us well enough. We should, you should govern us better. We want fucking daddy to look after us more. Tax the rich and spread it amongst the population, because we don't really want to do anything for ourselves. I mean, I could be completely wrong by that, but like I say, it's got so fucking murky. Who knows? But the COVID vaccine was like, it should have been bipartisan. It was absolutely partisan. It was like people on the right, which was weird considering it was a Trump thing in the first place, with the warp speed. But people on the right shunned it. People on the left call people on the right fucking monsters for shunning it.
Mm-hmm.
All that gets me is, I'd like to know whether this guy was injecting saline solution without people knowing, because I know there was doctors I believe in Germany that was injecting children with saline solution without anybody knowing it. There was a lady doctor, I'm sure, that was doing it. Someone will have to fact check me.
I think I've seen loads of articles where they were doing it with like saline solution in babies, and in my opinion, maybe they took a gamble at the time, but I think the doctors, being doctors, fucking knew what they were doing. In front, they're like, these little babies don't need this.
No, but the thing is, though, we complain about forcing it on people and saying, like, this should be a family thing. It should be up to parents. Parents should govern their children. To me, that's just as egregious as forcing it on somebody.
You mean not giving it when the parents are asking for it?
Yes.
Okay, but what if? And we spoke about Dr. Mike Yeadon, is it?
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't spoke about him on the podcast, but I watched his last interview.
Yeah.
What if there's more Mike Yeadons out there that fucking know that this thing is dangerous?
Right. Okay.
And they just cannot bring themselves to it. It's more. If you knew, and you have a little baby in front of you, you knew.
I don't think anybody knew, though. I certainly don't think GPs and hospital workers knew. I think they knew, the people, because that's to give, right? That's to give the naysayers. I know, and I'm steel manning something here. I'm fucking fully against as well.
No, but I get what you're saying.
I
get what you're saying. As a parent, you like that wants that. Say you had a kid with complications. I know somebody who's had a kid with a lot of complications, and they ended up getting their kid vaccinated. And I was like, oh, but it's not my child. It's not my child.
Yeah, and I am increasingly like, but one thing I never used to understand, right? I never used to understand the seatbelt argument when people. I remember when I being a child, and I remember the law coming in the UK. I don't know if we came in the Isle of Man at the same time as it did England, but I remember the discussions, and I was small. You know, we're talking like proper child, but I remember the discussions with people about seatbelts and having to wear seatbelts. I'm sure I did. Like maybe I'm making that up, but I'd have to check when it came in, but I think so. And all my life, up until maybe the last couple of years, I didn't see the problem. I didn't see the problem with, like, if just make people wear seatbelts. If they crash the car, they're going to be safer. Why would there be a problem with wearing seatbelts? Until I realized that when you look back on that, it was the first major step into unsolicited help in people's lives. And that's what David Icke used to call the totalitarian tiptoe, isn't it? Just little by little, you just, and it's the phrase is, when the government says they're going to protect you, you ask them what they're going to take away from you. I'm not saying that took anything away, but I think it certainly opened the doors to things. And now 40 years later, we're getting fucking ULEZ zones, and there's like 20 mile an hour, 20 mile an hour speed limit areas coming in places where there's no accidents. Do you know what I mean? Like, people say, yeah, but it's safer. Yeah, but there's no accidents happening. So what are you doing? You're stopping something that hasn't happened yet. But I want people to have more freedom. I think that's what I mean. I want people to have bodily autonomy and personal autonomy. If they make bad decisions, they should fucking pay for it themselves. If they fucking do things right, they should be lauded and praised for it, above other people that don't do those things. It's a pretty simple fucking life philosophy I've got. But the idea of the I don't believe, this is the best way to put it. The doctor that doesn't give the child the COVID vaccine, I don't believe he has any more knowledge than the doctor that does give the COVID vaccine. The only difference has been, is time has proven that the guy that didn't give it was lucky. He was luckier. He had the right idea.
Okay, well, I'm going to play a clip from Dr. Mike Yeadon on videocandy.com, which sounds a little bit, seedy, but here we go.
People, they suddenly,
just quickly,
then they begin to.
This is a public service announcement. Anybody that's doing a Zoom call or something like that, and they think they'll blur the background out because it looks better, just show people your living room. Looks fucking ridiculous. Carry on.
But thanks for letting us use the content. We appreciate it.
To realize, okay, this is not a level playing field. Yeah. Do you see the same thing when you're looking at the anti-vax group? You see that they all actually recommended it, which is kind of bizarre.
Personally, I'm still, I suppose, caught up in the matrix enough to resent the anti-vax term. I'm pro-safety. I was pro-safety in 2020. But anyway, yes. So no, you are right. The ones with the greatest reach, greatest salience with others, took some time before they realized that they should oppose them. But I'm still not happy with them, because I think, to a person, they still go along with the idea that there was a nasty, scary virus moving from person to person. And I think that's part of the reason why they've got publicity, because it doesn't matter that much if a few dozen people say, oh, don't take these jabs, they're dangerous, if everybody who's going to take them has already had one or more than one. It's like 5.6 billion people. So well done now for advising people not to take them, when for 2 years you more or less coerce people into doing it. But the worst thing is that they will say things like, oh, the WHO is talking about the next pandemic, and then they'll talk for 10 minutes about that. Folks, there's not been a pandemic. if they're talking about an acute respiratory illness, they are impossible, because you may not believe this, but you can start by looking at the Rosenau experiment, AUA, I think it is, Rosenau, who's a guy that investigated transmission of the Spanish flu, 1918 to 19, something like that. And you know what? They never managed to demonstrate symptomatic transmission from person to person. I didn't know this in 2020. I believe the same thing that most people did, which is that acute respiratory illnesses are caused by submicroscopic particles called viruses. I don't believe that's true. And once you look at the failure to transmit, I've seen papers over at least 60 years, all of which are negative. The latest was in the 1980s, large studies where people set off gaily thinking, well, we'll be able to demonstrate this, by bringing people with influenza or common colds into contact with people who with no history of those things recently and who are perfectly well, and getting them to spend an hour or so with each of half a dozen people with this. And you'd expect some of those people, sure, would pick it up, and they didn't. They did not get these symptoms at any higher rate than people exposed to people who weren't ill. So there were no differences. So that means when they tell you isn't like flying Ebola, they're lying, because that's not the way it works. And yet, the people who Alex just mentioned, who are the approved opposition, they are still reinforcing the scary flying virus in the air story, which is not true. It's quite remarkable. I found it quite remarkable that, again, I didn't really realize this solidly, I suppose, until the last year or so. I knew there were problems anyway. That is, there were not any more deaths during the early parts of the so-called pandemic, when nothing was being done. And you would think, surely, there would be people like, if it was that bad, they'd be falling over, especially the vulnerable elderly. And they weren't. There were no increases in all-cause mortality anywhere until after the fraudulent pandemic was called. So why is that? And that's because there wasn't one. And then later I concluded there couldn't have been one, because they don't work like that. And again, I was saying to Alex before we came on air that I don't like to rely on any one line of argument, any one piece of evidence. A good scientist always looks for multiple lines of evidence, because if they are in contradiction, you've not understood something, or at least one of the pieces of evidence isn't reliable.
I like Mike Eden.
Yeah,
I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot about a lot of.
I trust him with the prostate examination. There's not many people I would, but I trust him.
I've listened to a lot of interviews with him over the years. A lot of interviews with him, and but two things have stuck with me from it, and I can't get away from these two things. Especially recently, I don't understand how somebody that works, because he worked in virology as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
for Pfizer. He was one of the directors of Pfizer, and he worked in immunology. So was it?
He was. I do have this former Pfizer VP.
Yeah,
whatever the VP is,
vice president.
There you go.
I find it weird that he's had this coming to Jesus moment about viruses and the transmission of viruses. I do think there's something like this. There is something strange about how we think of like the viral transmission, and we can be, like you said, we can be really close to people, but I've always thought that it's all well and good saying that you can't prove viral transmission, and he's right, you can't. I think the other thing called Koch's postulate or something like that. That's something to do with not being able to prove viral transmission. But I was kind of in with the whole terrain theory for a while, like quietly in the back of my head, thinking, oh, it makes a lot of sense. But then I had a child, and then that child went to school and constantly got coughs and colds and came home with things. And I constantly ended up a week or so later with what my child had had.
You and me, I mean, if you remember me, and I've not been vaccinated, exactly the same happened. One of my little sprogs went to school, came back. I'd had a little bit. I actually got tested positive for COVID at the time, and then 2 weeks later, I got the flu off one of them that had come back from school. Ended up in hospital with myocarditis.
Yeah, you see, I don't believe in the COVID virus anymore. I think like I was on the fence with it for quite a long time. I think it was just. I think there was normal illnesses that were blamed. I mean, you know, when you think about even the fucking hangover, do you know what I mean? If you get a good hangover, you can have flu symptoms with a fucking hangover.
I mean, when I had COVID, I thought, well, it feels a bit like a hangover.
Yeah.
It's more of a headache and just a dry feeling, you know.
It's just cold. Like it's the same feeling you get with a cold. The only difference is that I didn't. I also hadn't heard of a thing called the nocebo effect. Obviously, we all know what the placebo effect is, which is where you can make somebody feel better by giving them something that doesn't make them feel better, but it makes them feel better, so they feel better. The nocebo effect is the exact opposite of it. It's where you can tell somebody that they're not well, and they will start to feel ill because you're telling them they're getting sick. I believe that was the main issue as far as COVID went.
So you think COVID was a psychological warfare on the human race?
Anybody that's had, right, and so for various reasons, right? Let's have a chat. When I was in my late 20s, going into my early 30s, in fact, there's a dark, hilarious twist to this story as well, and it is dark and it's very sad, but there's definitely some humor in it. I went through a few things personally, and I came out of it. I convinced myself there was something wrong with my heart. I was having full-on anxiety attacks where, like, the fucking almost like movie style anxiety attacks where I'd just be sat having a coffee with somebody and I'd feel it swell on me, this overwhelming feel of dread.
Yep.
And the room would shrink in, I'd go tunnel vision. It would affect my hearing. I'd feel like I was like underwater when some people were talking to me. I was like, it's horrible. It's fucking horrible. And I went through that for over a year, and then I remember, oddly enough, I was playing Halo Reach with a friend of mine online, and it got so fucking chaotic, it fucking triggered me to the point of having a panic attack, and I had to like put the controller down, stand in the garden for a little bit till I calmed down. I was like, right, what the fuck is wrong with me here? So I ended up to cut this short. I built the courage up to go to the doctors, because obviously I think saying this sort of stuff as a man as well is quite fucking embarrassing. And obviously, if you are experiencing something like this, just go and tell someone. And speaking to people about when there's something like that going on, so much easier than actually going through it. So when I saw my doctor turned around and said, "Look, I think you're having like anxiety attacks, anxiety issues." I was like, okay. So he's like, well, look, don't worry about it. We're going to sort this out. I want you to come back and see me next week, and we'll get you through this. I thought, that's great. I'm so happy about this. walked out of that doctor's the best I've felt for fucking 2 years at this point.
Well, yeah, because you thought you were dying of a heart attack.
Yeah, and I thought I thought I was going to get help. Unfortunately for me, that doctor killed himself the next day.
I feel like that doctor should have
not made a repeat appointment. Yeah. So yeah, the doctor that prescribed me with anxiety and depression killed himself the next day.
Wow.
So my story must have been particularly rough. So yeah, so another year went past anyway, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is I know how bad your fucking mind can make you feel.
Me too, brother.
Yeah, and like I've been my mind during that time has definitely made me feel sicker than I as far as me being ill. Two things. One, I had fucking military grade sepsis at one point, and I felt fucking hideous. The second worst I've ever felt was anxiety attacks. Like sepsis, anxiety attacks, everything else that's happened to me underneath. But just quickly. So that was just something that was like little personal problems that just built up and built up and built up. No, nothing really behind it. And that's what caused those things, right? Quite badly affected me. Oddly enough, I find I do think having had that happen and then come through the other side, I think I'm a much more mentally strong person than I was beforehand. Oddly enough,
I'd say mental, but
yeah. But either way, it's kind of it's definitely like psychologically it steeled me a little bit. But the fact is that during COVID, people woke up every single day and they turned their tallies on. Didn't matter what channel it was, and they saw a counter telling them how many people were dying. They had people explaining to them that if they were in a supermarket, me breathing here could infect somebody 20 fucking meters down the road against the wind. You had
everybody in the fucking shopping as it's coming into the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scrubbing a chicken down with bleach.
I believe that a lot of the I believe some of this, I shouldn't say a lot of, because I can't fucking statistically prove the amount here. I believe a certain amount of people that died of COVID and with real respiratory problems probably had respiratory illness, and on top of that, extreme anxiety because of a psychological operation that's been going on them for over a year. I had it, right?
Do you think that was so? This is what I wanted to get at. So, Dr. Mike Eden, because he's not. I know what he's implying, but is he saying
viruses aren't real? He's not implying.
He's saying that. No, he's saying. I know he's telling us that, but is he also telling us that this, whatever it was psychological?
I don't think. I mean, I think he should do, because I think he needs. I think if you're going to turn around and say that there wasn't a pandemic, then I think you need to address why so many people felt sick at the same time, and people did feel sick. But the problem I have with Mike Eden is, I forget the guy's name now. But have you heard the story of the guy that invented the PCR test?
I think I have, but remind me.
So the guy that invented the PCR test, I've seen like there's some rare footage of him talking about Anthony Fauci, and like I think he was not a fan of Anthony Fauci. I can't remember the words he used. There was pretty extreme language, like he was like really very displeased about him. And this was before the pandemic, by the way.
Right.
So he invented the PCR test. The PCR test wasn't invented as a diagnostic tool. It was invented as a tool to be used with amongst other things, including like normal diagnosis and stuff like that. It wasn't supposed to be this like one-stop shop for diagnosis. He could have destroyed the COVID narrative if he'd have been alive. Unfortunately, he died before the outbreak.
Interesting.
I believe he was murdered. Because you can't have somebody that is against the face of COVID. Like Anthony Fauci, even in the UK, you know, we had our health experts, but like in other places around the world, nobody knew who our health experts were. Everybody knew who Anthony Fauci was.
Didn't Biden pardon him?
He did. He pardoned him in his on his way out the door. Yeah.
Why pardon him? What's to pardon if he's so innocent?
He didn't do anything wrong. He was a hero, wasn't he? What if you pardoned him from being a hero? I'd like to stay a hero. Thank you very much.
If I had nothing to worry about, I'd say, I tell you what, give someone else the pardon. I don't need it. I don't need your fucking pardon.
The justification, I believe, was used that he was scared the incoming administration would create something and weaponize it against him.
Right.
I think that was the rationale behind it. But this is where I have a problem with Mike Eden, though. Why is he alive?
I think
you could have took him out.
He spoke out straight away, if you remember.
Doesn't matter. No, yeah, but nobody heard him. Robert Malone. Why are they still here? Why do you kill the PCR guy and leave the patent holder of the COVID vaccine? Why do you leave the Pfizer vice president?
What if he has an insurance policy?
But what? He said everything.
Maybe it's something else. I don't know.
What if they're controlled opposition?
I mean, it could be. I don't think he is. He's seen, from what I've seen, the way he presents himself. I mean, he looks like just like the guy that's seen it, you know. That
here's a question then, because like I mean, COVID, right? COVID was 9/11 on steroids. It is the biggest thing that has happened in our lifetime. The most important cultural event. What most important cultural event since the Second World War? Maybe. I can't think of anything.
I mean, there were 9/11, but yeah.
No, but I think the COVID is bigger than 9/11. Like much bigger. Like 9/11 wasn't a global thing. It happened in a place, and then due to that thing happening in a place, it affected some other areas. But you know, it's not. Apart from some more strict travel restrictions, you know, when you're trying to get on planes, it didn't necessarily affect Europe, for instance. You know, other parts of the world. There's very few places that COVID didn't affect. So, that being said,
it didn't affect number 10 Downing Street.
Didn't affect the parties, but this is what I'm really confused with, and I play mental fucking gymnastics about myself with this all the time. How many people do you know that died of COVID?
I mean, I know 0.
How many people do you know that died of the vaccine? And I don't just mean and I'm not like, obviously my uncle died. I don't know whether that was the vaccine. I was angry about it at the time. I'm not convinced it was. I've had a friend died, but then again, like people, unfortunately, people when in the 50s, and I've since found more about that out. I don't believe that was a COVID vaccine. So carry on with that being said.
I don't know anybody who's died from the vaccine. However, do you remember I told you about?
It's all right, Hang. Just let me carry on because that wasn't the question. The question was just how many do you know that's died
from the vaccine or from
well, you said no one from COVID, from the vaccine. Do you know anybody that has died that you can pinpoint down to the vaccine?
No. Not died. No.
What if it's all bullshit? What if the whole COVID
just to fucking fuck us up, just to completely mess us up?
Maybe just it is.
COVID will kill you, and the vaccine will kill you. Let's see what this does. Let's just fucking go for it.
So on one side of it, you have
they're gonna kill themselves. People, they're gonna fucking hate each other.
You have the pro-vaccine crowd. Like you have the mainstream media people. You have that Sanjay Gupta, who all these guys. Then you on the other side, you have like Robert Malone, Mike Eden, Joe Rogan, all saying the same thing. They are both opposite sides, of the same fucking ballsack. And the thing is, if it was a psychological operation, it's perfect because both sides will create their own evidence. If you're pro and you're in, your fucking auntie dies. You go, it was COVID. My auntie died of COVID. If you're anti-vax, it's like your auntie dies. She was fucking vaccinated and now she's dead. It's the vaccine's fault. There is such a especially on the conspiracy
creating
side of
chaos,
this.
basically.
Yeah, but I'm fucking. What is the New World Order's fucking mantra? It's order out of chaos.
This is where I think it's leading. All of this, you create the fucking chaos.
Do you know what I think it was for? Do you know what I think COVID was for? I should interrupt you. Somebody referred to me. It said to me the other day, Lee would interrupt a funeral if he had a chance.
He's got a great point there. No, I think it's digital ID. That's where it's going.
Yes, I was going to agree with you. I think all of the passports, vaccine passports and stuff like that were put in, I don't think they're ever supposed to be used, but all that infrastructure is in. The track and trace infrastructure was done. That NHS app was essentially WeChat. Do you know what I mean? That NHS app is essentially a fucking digital ID system that you could enforce with different things. I think
they beta tested it.
I don't even think they beta tested it. I think they just implemented it. Because what do you need to do something like that? You need compliance and you need money. What did COVID give them? Gave them fucking unparalleled compliance from from people and a fucking bottomless pit of money to use.
I don't know what it's like in the States or what their app would have been of choice for that, but I guarantee if you've got a grandma still alive that's still compos mentis, or your parents, you go around, and if if they're in the late 60s, 70s or whatever, look on the phone. I bet they've got that fucking NHS app.
Never downloaded it. I never downloaded it.
Neither did I.
I was always genuinely I was paranoid about what backdoors that create my phone. Not that there isn't. There's already enough backdoors, but there was just I always had this thing of if I install that, what am I not getting rid of if I install that?
I've had loads of backdoors. Oh shit! On my phone, I don't know why I picked my phone up and then dropped it on the table and created such an awful sound.
You did create such an awful sound. Get yourself an Alibaba and get yourself a soundproof one of the big soundproof mouse mats. I've got one on the way. It cost me £1.60, and all it cost was the fucking misery of a Chinese sweatshop worker.
I mean, everybody's got to make money.
Yeah, but
even if it's not a lot.
But getting back to what we talked about, that I'm convinced. I'm convinced that's what COVID was for. I think all that stuff is just there ticking around in the background, probably still being maintained. You know, the amount of things that came across is put that, and the amount of money that was spent and continues to be spent. There's probably little teams working on it now, just like it'll all be under the guise of, you know, in the next pandemic, if we have another pandemic, we might need something like this. So we need to just work on it, get like the next like version 1, version 2, version 3 out the door.
Do you think AIDS was the same?
I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
It's just the time. I mean, it was the 80s, wasn't it? The time that it kind of all happened. You know, everybody was like, "Who gives a shit?" You know, you fuck whoever you want. I don't care. You do your own thing. And then all of a sudden,
has that right?
No, but if you look back at the 80s, it was fucking great. People just going out having a wild time. It was fantastic.
Haven't they always? Don't they still do? They still do.
I don't know, mate. I mean,
I don't think people will go around going, "Oh, I might get AIDS."
No, I don't. I'm not on about the sex. I'm not on about the sex having a good time. What I'm on about there is
surely it's a sexually transmitted disease.
No, but there was a fear, and it almost created a hatred again.
I was too young, mate. I don't know. All I know.
No, I don't. I was too young. I was born 1980, so in my 80s, through the 80s, it was leading up to me being 10 years old. You know, I was born 1980. Funny enough, when Rendlesham Forest landing happened,
with your uncle Ollie, I'm surprised that was when you weren't most at risk.
Oh, that fucking uncle, what a twat. It didn't give me AIDS though. But I think people back then, and it's like this is like what's happening now as well, but it's not with a disease. But you are seeing, and I watched a young lady middle-aged lady on Andrew Gold the other day.
You could have just continued to call it. You could have continued to call it young.
Yeah,
would have just
she was she's a lesbian lady.
Is this the Irish woman that was on Heretic?
Yeah, she's fucking brilliant, and she said, "I'm fucking fed up of all gay people are getting fed up of being tarnished with the same brush. We're not fucking perverts. We're not deviants. We're just normal people." I think that was done by design to destroy all the work that had been done there, and I think in a way, kind of AIDS did that because some people will look like my dad said, people were looking at some gay people as if to say, have they caused this? They caused this fucking pandemic, this epidemic of AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I don't think they were. I think fucking they created it. They fucking created it, just like they created. But did it even exist?
I don't know, Ollie. That's the
and that is weird for me saying that because one of my mum's friends died of AIDS.
Yeah, well, I mean, we know there's immune deficiency things. You know, there's immune deficiency problems.
Yeah. But where does it? I don't think it stemmed from that. I think it stemmed from something completely fucking different.
Maybe
I'm no scientist, but I like.
I mean, we could say the same thing about cancers. You know, like our cancers.
I've had cancer, and I've had melanoma, and I get told, well, oh, don't fucking go out too much in the sun. But the sun's actually fucking good for you. But you know something? I think it probably like I've stopped using these fucking. I use a natural sun cream now, and it's only a factor 30. I tried to stay out of it, but I was using these sun creams that were like factor 50. When you put them on, they fucking stained your t-shirt. You'd stink of this stuff, and that stuff was sinking into my body. So that's probably going to give me fucking cancer.
Yeah, I think
you can't fucking win.
I think there's I in general, I'm not telling other people to do this. I don't really wear sun cream. I never have done. But
wear sun cream, people. Just wear the natural stuff.
On the flip side of that, I don't sunbathe. I'm out in the sun sometimes, and I will. I
think some people can have the sun. Sorry to interrupt, but I think some people can generally have the sun if you are from this planet. I'm not from this planet, obviously. I think I'm from Mars. I think the sun is too hot here for me.
I think there's a massive difference between people that are just out and about in the sun a little bit, and people that like as soon as the fucking sun rays out, tops off in the garden. Do you know what I mean? I thought this,
like these women that you see, they go, fucking hell, you look at the body like, wow, and they're really tan, then they turn around and looks like your gran.
Yeah. And that's obviously so obviously ages you. So that means if sun ages you, it's clearly breaking something down. Do you know what I mean? If it's accelerating the aging process.
It's funny you should say that, because you look what sun does to a flower. It blooms it, but it's aging it.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Is it?
I think so. I've just pulled that right out of my asshole.
Yeah. I think bro felt like he cracked the case there, didn't he?
I did. Maybe more people should go out in the moonlight, Maybe that. Have you seen that fucking guy? I mean, it's changed the subject slightly, but have you seen that guy that is being like injecting his son's blood into him and stuff? He's like, 50-something years old. Looks odd.
He does look odd. He looks plastic. He looks like an android, actually. So I forget his name. He wants to be the first man to live till 200. Is that what he wants to do? Yeah. He's kind of like a beta test, isn't he? Like there'll be the funny thing is there'll be so many things, like there'll be like a trickle down process from just him, because he has the financial means and the incentive, and the commitment to go, right, what's my life going to be? And this is the wild thing about his life. His entire life is around prolonging his life. That's his hobby. So the argument I would have there is, if your entire life is spent trying to prolong it, how much you live in it.
And is his son just like locked in like some sort of basement with like drips attached to him, just draining him?
His son will definitely be having a son or a child, which is wild. Like if that turns into a family tradition. But you know what the thing is? It sounds so weird when you say it. But like if it was common science and someone turned around and said you could like, instead of going to just like you'd normally give blood, if you could do that for your parents once a week, they'll live longer and they'll be healthier. Every motherfucker will be dropping a couple of pints a week for the parents.
Yeah, he could run. Get that down, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I as weird as it first it's as weird as it first sounds. It's the most fucking obvious thing to do. If it like, it's something that you fucking make yourself. We know that the blood of, like, we put it in mice, I think it was, wasn't it? We injected the blood of younger mice into older mice, and it sort of started to reverse the aging process in the older mice.
This is probably why so many celebrities aged during COVID. They just didn't have access to the little ones.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm glad you brought the COVID thing back up, because I think it's going to be fascinating to see if everything doesn't come fucking crashing down around us. Another 20 years, I'll be 60. You know, my son will be like approaching 30s then. In fact, maybe I don't even need it. Maybe I only need 10 years, 10, 15 years on this. get my to where the children, like the COVID children, the kids that were like babies and toddlers and stuff during COVID, will be old enough then to look back in the same way that younger people in their like 20s now look at 9/11. I think it's going to be so interesting to see what that generation like looks back on, and how, and to be perfectly honest, depending on what comes out, how angry they'll be, especially the teens, the ones that'll be a bit older in their 30s. The ones maybe they didn't do so well in their exams. Maybe there was some anxiety issues. Maybe they lost friends. They'll feel like they got cheated out of time, and it's something that's one of the things that really fucking angers me about COVID. Actually, is I was lucky on the Isle of Man. Lockdowns weren't particularly fucking totalitarian. They were brief. Whereas like the UK kind of just you guys kind of just locked down, and you stayed locked down for over a year, was it?
Yeah, absolutely. I almost turned into an alcoholic, as you know.
Yeah, see over here was like I don't think we went more than 3 months, maybe something like that, and then we were open again, then we were shut down again, then we were open again.
On and off, it was pretty much a full year.
Yeah, and the thing that really gets me is the time it robbed off people. It stole years off elderly people, which didn't have it stole months, off elderly people that didn't necessarily have the months to give back. It took families and tore families apart.
To this day, there will be families that haven't recovered from that, like through.
Yeah.
I mean, I nearly fell out with my dad over it, like just for not wanting to take a vaccine.
Yeah. I wonder how many kids are in broken homes now because of it, because their parents were like thrust into a year in the same house together. With no breaks with other people, no breaks of going to work, having nothing to essentially speak to about with your partner, because usually people go to work, come home, talk about what happened at work, what they're going to do. Well, you can't talk about work, and you can't talk about what you're going to do because you haven't gone to work and you're not going to do anything. Like it stole so much off people. It stole more than it could have. Even if the flatten the curve thing was a valid strategy, I still think it stole more than it could have possibly given back.
I think the Great Reset worked.
You could argue that was it. There was something there. You could argue that was it. I don't know if it worked. That's what I should say. I've always stood by this.
I think that's what we're living in now.
I don't think we were ever supposed to come out of lockdown, though.
I disagree with that. I think what.
Sorry, go.
I think if they wanted to keep us locked down, they could have kept us locked down.
Don't think they could. I think they got to the point where
who fought back? No, who fought back about it?
Do you not remember the fucking protests?
There were a few protests, yeah, but
there was hundreds of thousands of people on the streets. Tens of thousands.
They protest, but I mean, I don't think that's the reason why they got their own way.
Oh, I do. I
hope it was.
I think there's two things. I think vaccine uptake was lower than they actually thought people was. I will stand by this.
Do you think it's lower than what they're telling us it is?
Yes. Yeah. Because I think it was lower than what people were doing. Like me, I'm a prick, you see, and I relish some challenge off people when it comes to stuff like this. So I would tell anyone that I thought it might fucking wind up that I wasn't going to get vaccinated, because that's just the kind of prick I am. I also absolutely know the amount of people that were like, I'm fully vaccinated. I'm like, you had one, felt like shit, and you never went back, and you're not fucking brave enough to turn around and say this is bullshit.
I think it was the Facebook thing that got me.
Oh, the fucking little surrounds on the pictures with a little, I've had mine.
Fully vaxxed.
Fucking take that and the rainbow and shove it up your fucking ass. You pompous fucking self-flagellating assholes.
When I did have a Facebook account at the time, I changed when everybody was doing that. I changed my profile picture to a sheep.
That was the beginning, though, wasn't it? That was the beginning of the. Maybe was it the beginning? I'm trying to think of something before it. Of the like real, it's so much more important to say the right thing than do the right thing. And that I'm fully vaccinated was the first time I remember the profile picture thing. Then obviously after that came the Black Lives Matter thing. Then came the Save the Planet thing. Then came the I can't remember what I was trying to think of. I wouldn't mind. It was the first thing I thought of as well, but I knew the timeline was off for it. Ukraine, that seemed to be the beginning of the flag waving.
Yeah. And the flags have just kept on waving, Lee.
Oh, everything's got a flag. Everything has a flag.
Everything's got a flag apart from your own fucking country, but that's going to change.
Is it?
I fucking hope so.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I still think to get back to kind of where we are before we start wrapping the show up. I want to believe people like Mike Eden and I forgot the other guy's name.
Robert
Malone, yeah. Because it goes back to the Trump thing, doesn't it? And the fact is, we were desperate for a good guy in what feels like a sea of cunts. I just don't. I'm not convinced that.
I just think they're all cunts.
I don't know if they're. I don't know if it's necessarily that simple. I think it's human nature to an extent. I think it's human nature to hoard resources, and that's kind of what most people do. In where within your means, then your job is kind of make things as comfortable for myself and my family or whoever happens to be around you. And that's the way we are. It's why people want to fucking bury their head in the sand with stuff, because it's that kind of like, look, just leave me alone. Like whatever goes on around me, that's fine, but just leave me alone. But I think that scales. So when you get like politicians and prominent figures and stuff, I kind of think that they're just trying to get themselves in a position, especially people that make money, get themselves in a position where they've got that escape velocity, where they hit that point where they go, oh well, even if they come to try and fuck me now, they can't fuck me because like I'm financially settled. I can go move to an island. I can do this. There is security there. Essentially, everyone's just looking for security. And I think there's an awful lot of people that say big words that if given the chance to take the fucking bag and shut the fuck up, would probably realize that they weren't freedom fighters at all.
I think you're right, mate. I think you're absolutely right. So, what do we do about it? How can people make a difference? How can our listeners make a difference?
They can join the Patreon.
I'll tell you what you can do, which has been fucking phenomenal, people. Actually, I mean, we have to do, like kind of do because honestly, Lee actually is going to fucking Antarctica. But so yeah, you're up at 5 a.m.
I am at 5 a.m. Gonna go hug me some penguins.
Fucking bring me one back, big fat.
Do you know what? Like, if anybody else asked me, would you bring me a penguin back? I think to myself, is there a possibility I could do this? No fucking way I'm trusting you with a penguin.
There's a film where a guy gets loads of penguins. I forgot the name of the film. I watched it with the kids the other day. You're pretty
Is
shit.
It called Batman Returns?
No, but I actually did like that Batman film.
It's credible. But that's not just like the best Batman film. That's one of the best movies of all time.
It's a great film, yeah.
Arguably, Tim Burton's best movie.
Do you think it was better than the first Batman?
Oh yeah. By
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
Jack Nicholson as the Joker though is fucking incredible.
Yeah, he was great. But the by orders of magnitude, Batman Returns was better.
I need to rewatch it. Which one's the wankiest Batman for you?
Batman and Robin.
Is that the one with George Clooney?
Yes.
He definitely fucked Robin.
Why? Robin wasn't a small Asian boy.
So, people, you've been doing such a fucking stellar job of sharing the podcast with friends. Please keep doing this. That has grown as like this week alone. I think we've like had a few hundred extra people like just come and subscribe to the podcast. It doesn't cost anything to do that.
The growth in this show over the past 4 weeks is unprecedented in the time it's been going for. Like the show's the biggest it's ever been. It's getting the most interaction with people it's ever had. I'm just
guests are on fire that we've got lined up.
Hopefully.
I know, definitely coming on. 100%.
No, we got a decent July.
100%.
We got a decent July. I need to get the book out, but things are fucking hectic at the minute. For me, it should get a little bit calmer next week. I
know there's one guest that you've been flirting with on and off, and
oh my god, I'm in an abusive relationship, and like let me that it's first of all, it's not Sam Tripoli. People like people are getting very excited about Sam Tripoli messaging us on X. He hasn't messaged us back since, so I'm going to send him a message on Instagram. If we can make the Sam Tripoli thing happen again, be a fucking dream of mine, but we'll see. But no, so this isn't Sam Tripoli, but like I won't say who it is. Household name. Like he will be the biggest guest we've ever had on the show. Like just easy ever. And I got in touch with him a while ago, like Alien Addict time. I was like, yeah, come on. Like, awesome, thanks. Let's get it sorted then. They disappeared. Like, fuck it. Mate must have watched the show and fucking met Ollie. Then out of the blue, I get another Facebook message off him. Like, someone to come on the show. Like, yeah, I want you to come on the show. I'll come on the show. We can make this happen. Disappears into fucking thin air. A couple of months later, another hang up. Do you want me to come on the show? yeah, still waiting to come on the show. Funny enough. Here's my email address, my personal email address. Drop me an email on there. We'll make this happen. Fucking right. Now we're in. Now we're cooking with gas. Drop me an email. Come on the show then. Fucking silence. Like, fuck it. 2 months later, I get a fucking email back saying, someone to come on the show. Yes, I want you to come on the show. Here's my fucking private phone number. Like, WhatsApp. WhatsApp me. It's all right. Right. Now we're in. But bearing in mind, this is like fucking 8 or 9 months have passed.
And
here.
it is official email as well.
Yes, yeah. It's a real
guy.
Send a message. Nothing. A month later, I get a text message. Like, do you want me to come on the show? I'm like, fucking yes. I fucking want you to come on the show. I'm a bit busy at the minute. Like, you text me this time? He said, when are you wanting me to come on the show? I'm like, August. I'd like you to come on in August. He said, right, we'll make this happen. So that's where we are with this. But I'm in an abusive relationship with a guest, and it is I don't understand. I really don't understand. But he keeps getting my little hopes up. And then fucking slapping me on the end of the bell end.
Yeah. Well, you are a bell end.
I am. I deserve it. To be fair, I do deserve it. But yeah, if you think we deserve it, then please head over to the Patreon. Jump on. We give you free audio podcasts. I must point out. Someone asked about the video on Spotify the other day. Unfortunately, you can only put video on Spotify if you host with Spotify. We have a good relationship with Spreaker, and they were good enough to, like, early doors when we didn't have many listeners at all. Like, obviously saw talent. They saw the talent, and they snapped us up as a Spreaker Prime podcast. So it's just nice to know if there's ever hassle, we have like an agent and stuff. We can. There's a point of contact. We can speak to a real person.
If you want to watch it, you can watch it on fucking YouTube, and I think, are we on Rumble as well?
Yeah, maybe it's supposed to auto upload to Rumble, but I haven't even been over there. But yeah, like the
price we're still on YouTube, but we are.
It's times have changed, man. Times have changed. But yeah, we can't upload video to Spotify because we're not a Spotify hosted podcast, and we could move over, but it's better for us where we are. If you want to do that, it's like I say, you get ad-free podcasts, early access to video, and the live hangout at the end of the month. It's very much appreciated, and we know everyone hates adverts, so $5.99 a month to get rid of those. If you listen every day. If you listen to our podcast every single day, and some of you crazy fools even listen to the fucking omnibus afterwards, get rid of the fucking adverts during the week. Seems like a good idea to me. $5.99, I'd do it.
The omnibus might be slightly. It might have one show missing this week, people, but we'll make up for that.
The omnibus will have one show missing, and it's just because with the Antarctica trip, I'm not actually going to Antarctica, but I am going away for a weekend. I've been snowed under trying to make sure that all the shows come out like on when they're supposed to do. There may be some missing video podcasts over the next couple of days, but the audio podcasts will absolutely be out every single day as normal.
Oh, hello. So on that note, people, good night, God bless, and this cat is really wanting me to touch it, so I'm gonna go.
I really don't think it does. I don't think it wants it at all. See you later, people. Bye-bye.
Bye.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Why are you a conspiracy theorist? And I said, why isn't everybody a goddamn conspiracy theorist?
This is the real research. Literally have an alien base, and they are literally communicating.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
Have you personally had any experience with interdimensional beings?
What we're thinking of as aliens, they have infiltrated a lot of aspects of military intelligence. And they are not what they claimed to be.
We leave you much that is undone.
That's one small step for man.
There are great ideas undiscovered.
visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars.
Remove one of truth's protective layers.
There's a monolith.
They want the major population centers wiped out.
Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Those challenges are yours.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
There are places to go beyond belief. Beyond belief.